4, 3, 2, 1.
Whether you've been married 1 or 20 plus years, at some point you realize you married into crazy. And that's what our show is all about. If your marriage or relationship is compassionate, real, accountable, zealous and yielding, or just plain crazy, Snooks and Lovey offer love, laughter, and a dose of reality as they unpack this thing called marriage. Sit back, relax, and get your ear hustle on. It's time to start the conversation.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Look, if you're looking to or you got to raise the bar on your marriage, you gotta click the link and get into Married into Crazy, y'all. I'm telling you, this coaching is gonna take your relationship to another level. Now look, you already know you need to raise the bar. You know that already. So stop thinking or overthinking. Click that link, and Marriage into Crazy is gonna take you and your spouse to marital bliss. Now you know. Click the button. Let's go.
Welcome back to another episode of the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. I'm Lovey.
I'm Snooks.
And we know who's going to the Super Bowl.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm not mad about it.
I am.
Well, I mean, you're mad because the Steelers ain't going, so.
Well, always, yeah. So I'll stay mad.
Okay. Well, so why are you mad?
Well, I'm mad only because I don't know. I thought Detroit had a great run. I thought it would have been amazing to see.
It would have been amazing. Yeah.
Them go to the Super Bowl after all this drought. But look, this is not a sports podcast.
You love to say that. It's like he lets me talk about football for 10 seconds and then he's like, okay, we're over it. I'm like, I'm just getting started. I want to talk a little bit about it.
Well, look, real quick, we'll jump right back into it. But for those of you that are listening for the very first time that have been referred to the Married into Crazy podcast, yes, it's about all things marriage. We're a couple that's been married for 27 years.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep. I got assigned to the big house 27 years ago.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That is so messed up.
So we are Married into Crazy. And crazy stands for
compassionate, real, accountable, zealous, and yielding.
Yeah, and she's the one that has to be yielding more times than not to my crazy and offbeat ways. But
not the compassionate kind of crazy either.
Ooh. So anyway, I just want to let you guys know that out the gates, because we start differently all the time. We're just trying to always have fun and lift up the covenant of marriage. And we do it in a variety of ways. Mm-hmm. If you go to marriedintocrazy.com, you can take a look at the different ways that we endeavor to lift your marriage up. Not our marriage. We do work on ours, absolutely. But no, we try. The things that we learn, the people we meet, the resources we either develop or come across, we make them available to you because we truly believe in the institution of marriage, and we really want you to experience the best version of your marriage that you possibly can. So definitely go to marriedintocrazy.com and see what's available there.
So I just want to say something real quick. It's not about football either. It just made me think about something. Talking about having the best marriage. So a lot of times,
I know where you're going.
Okay,
go ahead.
Whatever. So a lot of times, there's always the one partner that's really hot. There's one that's really cold. Yeah, Lovey's always hot and I'm always cold. So we have this. We got a new duvet. It's a dual duvet.
Dual duvet. It's like a fancy word for comforter.
Okay, yeah. So, but it's a dual duvet because down the middle, not all the way down, but down the middle, there's buttons, and you can undo the buttons. And so the partner who stays warm,
me,
all the time, he could throw his down. Because sometimes they take the covers off, and then there's this big old giant gap, and the cold air comes under the covers. So with this in the middle, he could take his covers off and I could stay nice and toasty. So dual duvet, yep. thedualduvet.com. You got to go check them out. I promise you. I mean, this is new age for me. I was just like, wow, blew me away.
Well, look, it's not like we're going to get, look, we are not in a commission-based relationship with him. They asked us to just participate in something that they were doing. And So they sent us a dual duvet to actually check out.
Right. And first I was like,
Man.
okay, whatever. And
Hey,
Lovey
it's
was like,
attractive.
and it actually is really, really attractive. So Lovey's like, so you're going to take the other blanket off? I was like, no. But so just a little bit about me. I leave my electric blanket on my side all night because I'm always cold. With the dual duvet, I put that thing on the bed. I just need my blanket, my comforter, not my comforter, the electric blanket on until I get in the bed because I don't like getting in cold sheets. And then I can turn it off. And all night, it keeps all that warmth trapped in. So I'm telling y'all, you need to really go look and see. It's so nice.
And instead of me throwing my side of the comfort and all that all over her or squishing it down all the way to the foot of the bed,
making it all uncomfortable.
I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is amazing because all I did is I just
bomb.
rolled it back, put it down at the foot. So it's funny because when you come in like all day long, it looks beautiful because they're together and it sets the stage. It's like staged, right? It looks really good. But then when I get in bed, I roll that thing back and I don't got to worry about her. There's no fighting over the covers. There's no me pushing off of her trying to grab more. This thing's amazing.
It's amazing. So you guys check it out,
check
honestly.
out the dual duvet, and it'll be in our show notes as well. We're gonna pump them up for a little while just because it saved our relationship to a certain extent. Look, we would argue. I would wake up sweating, trying to figure out what is going on.
He would argue. I'd be like, sir, I am nice and toasty. Just keep it moving.
Yeah. I'm Mr. Heat Miser.
Yes, he is. Anyway, so I just wanted to put that in there because I'm telling you, that was like, that changed the game.
It definite game changer. Go check him out.
Yeah.
TheDualDuvet.com.
Yeah.
Now, back to football. We'll stay here briefly. Look, we're just excited that the Super Bowl, this is the first year in a very long time that we've been invested in watching football. And it's been an amazing season when we had the opportunity.
Don't say we. I'm always invested in watching football. Not we. Even when I'm supposed to be doing other things, the TV's on and it's loud and I can hear it. I love watching football. And go Chiefs. I'm just going to say that. Go Chiefs.
Go Steelers. I feel like a Steeler right now. I'm sitting on the sidelines on the couch just like my team watching the game. So I'm going to wear my jersey. Anyway, look, let's keep it moving. Thank you very much for the emails that we've been receiving. We're taking everything in as we develop some of the content for the latter part of the years. But keep an eye on your IG. Keep an eye on your TikTok. And let us know what you think of some of the content that we're putting out. We've got the Married into Crazy tip of the day. These little statements that go out. Then one in February is going to be interesting. You wait till you see that one coming out, the little backdrop. It's got a little something to it. So I think you'll like it. But just keep those coming. We truly appreciate all of your input. But I want to play something for the audience that I thought was interesting.
Okay.
So with the advent of artificial intelligence, there's a lot of things that are happening right now. People are using Chat GPT, Google Bard. They're using a variety of different tools and resources. And it's a good thing, right? Because people have a tendency to lean into resources that are available to them. But there's an interesting take that I heard the other day that I think I'd like to twist it a little bit as it relates to marriage. So I'm going to play this only because I don't understand the technology that we're using for YouTube, and I need to actually figure out how to actually get a video up there. But
biggest concern, investments on AI to make machines smarter. There's no limit to the amount of money that's been pumped into it. The investment in HI to make humans smarter, human intelligence, that's just sad. It's sad that we're going to live in a world right around the corner where machines will be more articulate, analytical, critical thinking, banter ability, contextual, deep understanding, while we have resorted to short tweets, emojis, memes, and stickers to communicate. My biggest...
So that is concerning to me.
About AI or
So here's what I'm thinking about. It's a trickle down effect.
Okay.
And I think it affects marriage, in a tertiary state or in a third state or in that trickle down. Yes, I understand what he's talking about. It's from an investor standpoint that more resources, more money is being poured into the development of technology, right? Machine learning, artificial intelligence. Let's put this, to a higher degree than the resources that are being put towards developing human capital, human interaction. Meaning, like, there's more and more money being taken away from schools and programs and put it into these things. So here's the trickle down, and stay with me on this, is that as we get more and more accustomed to utilizing these tools, whether it's social media in its various forms, and there's a lot out there. There's IG, there's TikTok, there's Facebook. Not so much LinkedIn, because that's very different, but people can utilize it as well. As we're getting more and more integrated with these technologies, there are couples that are sitting there's somebody right now sitting next to a spouse. As you're listening to your podcast, you look over at your spouse, they're interacting with
AI.
Technology, artificial. I'll say artificial intelligence.
Okay. So you would put artificial intelligence in the we're saying artificial intelligence, but what you're saying is that the artificial intelligence could be the social medias, the video games, the
yes. Let's take the election. Let's take election year cycle into consideration.
Okay, what does that mean?
When we say AI, everybody thinks about Chat GPT and all that. This generative AI where you type something in and it spits something out. It sounds pretty cool, and you might be able to utilize it or give you some ideas for research, what have you. I know coders, one of my best friends in the world, it's like my brother, utilizes AI to test out coding and all of that. So it has a place for it. But when I say social media, think about the last couple of election cycles. Artificial intelligence. People were utilizing social media to get their news, to help form their opinions. They were utilizing this stuff. And there's algorithms that are in place that will only feed you and give you, it's pandering to the crowd. It'll give you what it thinks you like based on your searches. So then you're only getting fed certain information. Mm-hmm. It is artificially intelligently feeding you information that you're forming your opinions and so forth. And I think that's the basis for artificial intelligence. It's not you thinking through things. It's not you coming to your own conclusions. It's like, oh, this is interesting. And then it's interesting. And then all of a sudden, rather than getting a differing opinion, so you can actually balance it out and start to make up your own mind, it's constantly feeding and pandering to what that was. So next thing you know, it's controlling to a certain extent the path that you go down. So now all of a sudden you think the whole world thinks like this, and therefore you want to go down that path, and you're sticking with it. And I think that it is artificial insemination of a particular sliver of knowledge, as opposed to having an encyclopedia. You can look up all this information. So yes, I lump in social media with artificial intelligence. And as a result of that, we're doing things where, like he says, sitting next to each other and responding in emojis and stickers and, GIFs.
So basically, like what you're thinking is that is replacing the bond between the two people, the communication. There's like just a breakdown of everything because of, kind of like, to his point, instead of me saying, yes, I love you too, I'll send you a heart. Or, oh, I'm so happy for you, I'm whatever, I'll send like you whatever it is I find that I want to send.
Yeah, absolutely. And crazy part about it is you don't do it as much, but there was a period where
I was just using me as an example, but since you put me out there,
there was a period, and we were both guilty, where you had those Bitmojis.
I love those.
No, you do.
I still use those. I love those because well, anyway, go ahead.
It's the caricatures, right? And instead of like having a conversation or, getting things out, it's like, go, it's like all these different.
So, but okay, and I get what you're saying, and I'll come to your point. I'll enhance what you're saying. I don't want to say enhance, but I'll give my point of view about that. But I also feel like though, could it be because we're always moving, so I don't have the time to really sit and invest in typing out or whatever and expressing myself because I don't have the time because I'm always on the move. I always got something going on. So it's easy for me to find, instead of me being like, oh my gosh, you shouldn't have blah, blah, blah. I'll just make it, what is that? Shorthand and say, and send the Bitmoji for shaking my head where I'm just like,
LOL, OMW,
whatever, something like that.
SMH.
Yeah, shaking my head. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, could it be because there's so many demands in our lives that there's so many things that require us to be on the move, to be always going, to be here, and then I got to be there, and then I got to be there, all in 10 minutes, So the Snapchats and the emojis and the little sound bites or whatever it is that we send each other, it's because that's all we have time for.
To a certain extent, I can see where you're going with that, but I just feel like we're shortcutting our relationships. We're shortcutting our ability to communicate. Because I mean, I'm not saying we do it all the time, but it's like we're sitting there talking to each other, and it's like, I'm just using this just metaphorically, but talking to each other, and it's like, LOL.
Okay.
No, laugh out loud. No, I want you to laugh out loud. Don't look at me straight face going, oh, LOL. No, what?
Who does that?
And it's just
so funny. I'm so sorry. That's funny to me though.
And it's like,
LOL.
oh, I've been in places where people be like, oh my goodness, LOL. I'm like, just laugh.
When you say when you just laugh?
Just laugh. Don't say LOL.
That's funny.
I've had people say SMH. Look, I got a cousin. She teaches overseas now. She left. She was at honors and AP English teacher.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say her name.
No, I said don't say the school she was at.
Oh, I'm gonna say I should,
no,
but I won't.
No.
But she had students that were turning in papers with these little shortcuts, text talk. Yeah. LOL. There were portions of papers that were being turned in for midterms and what have you they were using this shorthand from texting.
But see, I feel like, cause I learned how to write complete sentences and stuff like that in grammar for grammar in English. So wouldn't that be a breakdown? What are they of the school system?
I think so. I'm curious. Hey, teachers, any teachers out there? I need to ask my cousin. Well, she's overseas right now, but
well, I mean, we got cousins here.
But I'd love to know. Does anybody do sentence structure anymore? Where you do like the sentence structure where you draw the line and then they had the verb and all the different.
I would hope so, because if not, when they get to college, it's going to be a mess. I'm assuming. I'm
just curious because I mean that used to be man.
But so I mean, to your point, as far as like the communication breakdown.
And okay, so you call it communication breakdown. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna call it for what I call it. What I see it as, it's the dumbing down of marriage.
Okay.
Because if you're not communicating as effectively, you're looking for these shortcuts, and the one place we should never take a shortcut is in our marriage. And in doing these things and sitting next to each other on a couch doing this, you're sitting there doing on your phone, I'm sitting here on my phone. No, I meant LOL. And you're tapping on your phone and doing all this, and we're engaging with this thing, this hobby, I don't even call it a hobby, this thing that's feeding us information, and we're not communicating with each other. And I think that when we talk, it's like, oh, I didn't have anything to say. One of the number one reasons, one of the top 4 reasons why people get divorced is lack of communication. Well, actually, our marriage health toolkit that is absolutely free. That's on our website. Please go get this thing because it's a resource that can help you. It doesn't cost you a thing. And it'll address 3 out of 4 of the top reasons for divorce and separations. Number 1 is communication, bad communication, poor communication, lack of intimacy. The toolkit also addresses financial health. The one thing that it doesn't address is infidelity. That's something that you can't put anything in a box that's going to actually help with that as far as helping out. But when we talk about lack of communication, it's because we're dumbing it down. I don't know. I'm pretty passionate about this, and I'm strong in my beliefs, right or wrong, that technology is the culprit that has actually led us astray.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that I don't agree with you. I agree with you because even in looking at some of the videos that people pick that they put out or whatever, they'll show their whole family and everybody's on their phone. Or even when we go out to dinner, we've been out to dinner and everyone has their phone out and they're, on their phone. And when the food comes, some put their phones down, some whatever. Some don't. They're eating and looking and scrolling or what have you. We've gotten complacent with just being in proximity of each other.
Yes.
So we're misplacing proximity for spending time together. And I've heard people say this, why are you tripping? I have been here with you all day.
No, you haven't.
Your body has been here. We've been in proximity, but we've not communicated because you've been playing your game or I'm on the social media or whatever, or I'm looking at TV at someone else's whole relationship in a reality show or whatever it is, So we, to that point though, I have nothing to say. Well, because what are you feeding yourself? It's a whole bunch of riffraff. And sometimes the stuff that you got to talk about, I don't want to hear that. And not you.
Right.
But if I'm not into what you're into as far as your outside stuff, then of course there's going to be that we don't really have nothing to talk about because I'm not a gamer. Oh, well, I don't like being on social media or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. We've lost, a lot of couples have lost that connection. Where's the shared goals, shared intimacy or shared conversation, intimate conversation,
shared interest, anything.
Interest. That's actually one of the words to look for. But it's like we call it pillow talk. Mm-hmm. Where is any of that? The things that make you you.
Where's the pillow talk? I'm on my pillow. You're on your pillow, and we have our phones or our tablets. And headphones.
And that's true.
I got my Bose headphones on. You got yours on. We don't do that really.
No, but when you said that just made me think about there was a movie called Something New. It was Sanaa Lathan was in it, Blair Underwood, and I can't remember the other guy's name. But Sanaa Lathan, she liked. He was a white guy. I can't remember what his name was, but she really was into him. But because, dating outside of a race or whatever, they had a good time together. They talked, they cooked together, whatever it was that they were doing. But when they broke up, because her mom really wanted her to be with the black man, and so she got with Blair Underwood. And one thing that they did was he would be sitting on the couch and he'd be doing his work, and she was on the couch and she would be doing her work. And it was so funny because it's like he reached over. He was like, "This is nice, huh?" Like, she's like, "Okay," kind of like,
wow, wow.
But again, proximity versus real intentional conversation. The fact that I'm here should tell you everything, but it doesn't tell me nothing.
Proximity does not equal intimacy.
intimacy, conversation, like you said, shared interests. I mean, hobbies and stuff. Everyone should have never lose your individuality for your relationship, but save time for your relationship.
Look, if you take a look at our logo, so you look at the Married into Crazy logo. Actually, it's right here on my hat.
It's right here.
Yep.
Oh,
Well, they don't see the top part.
okay.
But when you look at my hat, or you look at anywhere, you have the two rings that are overlapping. So you see, yeah. You see, but it's almost like a Venn diagram. There's a lot of individuality, but there's an area in which we overlap, where you maintain individuality, but you're linked, you're bonded, you're coming together, and there's that intersect in the middle where there's shared interests. You should have that.
You should have that.
The rings should not be separated, sitting next to each other. You're nuts. You're absolutely crazy. For those, I wish. If you're listening to this, please go to.
I just was drawn. I'm giving them the.
Go to YouTube, and so you can see
gosh.
this. So she can see her Vanna White explanation of what I'm talking about. But it shouldn't be. The rings are overlapped and they're linked together, and there's that shared area. We've got to have that shared area as opposed to being completely apart in the same room. That's purposeful. There's a reason why those rings overlap.
Because that's the we. Without that, without that, the separation, that's you, that's me. We're not we anymore. If we're not,
Yeah, there's no overlap. So what do you think actually
what do I
contributes to a lot of that?
Outside noise, outside influences. I don't know, just not trying to dwell deeper in phone, yeah, but
That's outside noise.
what is the thing that's making me grab how come I'm not coming to you to talk to you?
A dopamine hit. That's what it really comes down to, is that dopamine hit. You want that quick fix, that feeling, and it's like, oh, okay, well, you know what? In order to have a conversation with you, it's going to be long and drawn out. I need that dopamine hit right now. I don't want to wait for this feeling to come 10 minutes into the conversation. I need it now. So it's like, ooh, let me get an LOL. Let me watch a video so I can SMH. Let me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not playing. That's what it is. But and this whole thing from will.i.am, when you saw that Yahoo Finance clip or listened to it when we just played it right now, it just really got me thinking about how marriage is being dumbed down. And we talk about how communication is one of the major reasons why people profess to why they're going to divorce. Well, it's like these things are distracting us from having real connectivity between us because we aren't communicating, because we're doing the shorthand version.
Everything becomes so shallow because shallow is it's quick. It's like, when you get in the pool, the first thing you get in the shallow in. I don't want to go deeper. I just want to stay here. I'm comfortable here.
Very true.
Right. You all right?
Yeah, they keep hitting this microphone.
I know. Better be careful. But the more time you stay in that, the more comfortable you get. And then you think, why would I change? Well, I'm good here. You not good? Okay, well, you can go on and do whatever,
And I think that's the problem, is like if you're both staying in the shallow end, you're never really getting into that deep connection. Well, I didn't feel like, we really had much in common. I don't feel like, we really bonded. There was, everything was great in the beginning because you know what? The honeymoon is superficial. You might get together and talk about these great things. Oh, we have these shared interests. Oh yeah, I have these goals. I have these desires, this, that, and the other. And and the sex is good. Yeah. And it's like, oh yeah, this is great. That's shallow. That is very shallow. As fun as it may be, it's shallow because then we need more. There needs to be substance to the relationship.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Right. And so now when you have one spouse that's saying, ooh, I want to go into the deep end, let's go over there. So we can actually, the other person's like, I like shallow.
I'm not going over there.
I'm not going over there. And then,
but then what does that do though? That creates
separation.
Resentment. First comes resentment and some bitterness or whatever. And then I'm not going to keep on asking you, and then people just screw it then. You do you, I do me,
Look, and I know that we're coaches, and we should be saying, "Oh, just come see us, and we'll help you through it." But I'll be very honest with you. The greatest challenges are for those individuals that are comfortable being in the shallow end, or the ones that are just sitting on the the Cabo shelf. They don't even want to get in the shallow end. They just no.
I'm gonna just put my toe in the water.
3 feet of water. I only want those like 7 or 8 inches of water right there. I'm good sitting in this.
Yeah.
And that's a challenge because marriage is meant for those that want to go deep, not those that just want to stay in the shallow end. And I'm going to tell you right now, the shallow end, the dumbing down of the relationship happens, I think, as a result of more and more reliance on technology to find some fulfillment, to find some joy, to find some laughter, to find some connectivity. You have more people connecting with videos of cats doing tricks, or they find more connectivity with these celebrities and what they're doing in their lives, and that they have no idea who they are really in true life. But you've got a person that you both said "I do" to, sitting next to each other, that are talking about, I'm going to leave this relationship because I just don't feel a bond. I don't feel a connectivity, because we're spending our time connecting to the artificial intelligence that we're walking around with in our pockets or our purses. I just see this as a bigger issue than what many people are making it.
You mean they're not making a big enough issue?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what I just said, but
you said that in a different kind of way, but
that's it. I mean,
no,
and
I get it. I promise.
This is one of those episodes where I don't have answers for you other than
put the phone down.
Put the phone down.
But then if you put the phone down, you won't see us.
Pick the phone up. Pick it up.
And then watch us and then put the phone down.
Right. That part. No, but I mean, we know couples. Like, we have people that have actually reached out to us, and part of their evening routine, once a week or every few weeks, depending on how, I don't know what the cadence is, but we have people that actually post stuff that of them watching YouTube of the video of the podcast, and then they have conversations about it. They're still connecting. It doesn't have to be us. There's a lot of podcasts out there. There's podcasts, other relationship podcasts that I watch that I really thoroughly enjoy, and then I feel like feed me and gives me information that I go back to my wife and like, hey, what do you think about this? Let's talk about that. Not so much on the show. I'm talking about, let's talk about that in our pillow talk. I'm inspired by others. We have a close friend, Quest Green. It's got a strong marriage community. We do the same thing, but in different ways. He and I talk, and we challenge each other to be better husbands.
Well, I think too that the other part is there's still that connectivity, as far as like we're able to sit down and there are times when Lovey, he's on his phone or whatever, and I might be on mine, and I'll look over. I'm like, what you looking at? And then I'll become part of his, and now we're together and we're laughing at the same stuff, or we're doing whatever. We're not being separate, I don't want anyone to think that we're up here like, oh, we're never on our phones, we're never on our computers. Right. No, that's not the case at all. But I know that that doesn't take precedence over him or us spending time together. Like you said, some of the things that we look at, I can't wait to show him. I'm like, this is so crazy. Let me go show him. And I'll go and I'll show him what it is, and we'll talk about it, just like you said. But there's never
just like this clip. I saw this and thought, ooh, I want to talk to Snooks about this.
Right. So, I mean, I'm saying put the phone down if it impedes you from spending time with your partner, with your spouse, whomever. Don't ever let technology take the place of that person.
The first step is acknowledgement, right? You have to acknowledge you have a problem before you can fix a problem. And if you ever find yourself saying, we just have nothing to talk about, pause and give some thought to, why is that? Why don't we have anything to talk about?
And talk about that. Ask those questions. Why don't we have anything to talk about?
Yeah, what are we doing with our ideas? I'm not dumb. You're not dumb. We're sitting here. We have thoughts. We have desires. We have goals. So why aren't we discussing those things? So I don't know. It's just, this is going to be an ongoing conversation. And this particular episode was meant to be fodder, to give you something to think about more so, and something to talk about with each other more so than giving you answers. This is one of those where we hope it's food for thought, that it's truly going to get the wheels turning.
Get the conversation started.
Get the party started. So, hey, thank you for joining us.
But before you go.
But one more thing. But wait, there's more.
This, the month of love.
Oh, yes. So that just reminded me of the SNL. Yes. So if you go to our website, if you go to marriedintocrazy.com, we do have gear. You see us occasionally wearing a hat, different clothing. For the month of February, the month of love, we are having our biggest sale of the year, which is 20% off the entire store. There's new gear. There's new designs. Go check it out. It's at shop.marriedintocrazy.com, and you will be able to see the entire line. And one thing that we don't talk about is that we've begun, especially after our son passed away, we are taking, once a quarter, we're taking 25% of the proceeds for what we bring in on the shop, and we're donating it to a local charity that really focuses on the unhoused community in some way, shape, or form. Our heart goes out to them, and we have a particular connection, if you will, to the plight of those individuals. Our son was there, and that's something maybe we'll talk about down the road. But anyway, so it goes there. I'm not going to go deep on that, but because then I'd be here another hour and a half, if not longer. But go to the site. This is the month of love sale, and see if there's anything that appeals to you. Go ahead and get yourself something for the month of love. Get you, your spouse. There's some crazy t-shirts. Definitely check out the shirts. We highly encourage you to get one that really tells the world, A, what crazy stands for, and that you are married into crazy.
Yep.
So,
until the next time,
be blessed.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Married into Crazy podcast with Snooks and Lovey. Please like, subscribe to, and review the show wherever you access it, and tell a friend about us. Visit marriedintocrazy.com and see how Snooks and Lovey can bless your marriage directly.